All right. One of the most important concepts I had to learn in the course of my entrepreneurial career is this concept of opportunity costs, the ability to see missed opportunity or capitalized opportunity, because it doesn't show up on a spreadsheet in a really obvious way. A lot of times things, they look like risk in the windshield, but they look like opportunities in the rear view mirror. And our ability to see opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities in real time is critical to your success. And in this video today, I want to share two concepts around opportunity costs that have actually been surprisingly helpful for me for identifying and making time in my life to capitalize on opportunities rather than just letting them pass me by. The very first thing that I want you to think about is we need to prioritize opportunities more than problems, right? So in the course of your business, you have all these problems that are going to be cropping up at any given point that need your attention. They're the fires. Sometimes they're dumpster fires, sometimes they're house fires, right? What ends up happening in my in my experience is we deal with the house fires, but we also treat the dumpster fires with the equal amount of importance as the house fires. And the way I think about these is the dumpster fire, yeah, it's a fire. And we don't want that getting next to the house and catching the house on fire. But as long as it's in the dumpster and it's away from the house is safe. And so though our humanistic or our primal animal brains look at fire and say, fire, it's all the same, fire is bad, need to deal with that. The reality is not all fires are the same. House fires are bad. We got to deal with those. Those are the things that are going to threaten to burn down the building, right? Dumpster fires, we can let burn or we can deal with later. We just need to keep an eye on them, make sure that they're not getting too close to the house. Now, with that frame, we are most often as entrepreneurs, we're chief firefighters, right? That was actually one of my designators at Escape Climbing, which was Chief Fire Putter Outer. That was my bio on the website, Chief Fire Putter Outer, and my picture was me with a fire extinguisher. All I did was go around putting out fires, right? And that's probably your job as the founder as well. Like that's your main job. But what I found is that we tend to put our best people in our businesses on the biggest problems rather than the biggest opportunities. And so a lot of what we're doing is we have Jensen over here, who's an A player. He's awesome. He's a rock star and he's super competent. Everything that we give him, he knocks out of the ballpark and he crushes it. And we're like, okay, Jensen, I got this big fire over here, this big problem that needs to be figured out. And like nobody else can figure it out. And it's going to be bad. I need you to go solve it. Right. So we take our best guy, we put him on the biggest problem. And in the course of that, this guy starts to get burnt out because all he's ever doing is going from fire to fire to fire to fire to fire. And like, honestly, putting out fires all the time is just exhausting. And so then your best person is putting out this fire rather than maybe coming over here and saying, hey, you know what, Jensen, instead of going and putting out this fire because this house is, burning down, I want you instead to go over here and I want you to build an apartment complex, right? We're just going to let the house burn. Go build this other bigger, cooler thing, right? I'm not saying let your business like division burn down to the ground necessarily, but when we constantly put our best people on the biggest problems, we are missing the opportunity cost of taking that same person and letting them run towards something that maybe has outsized opportunities. And if we're pursuing things that have asymmetric risks or barbell asymmetry, like Nassim Taleb would talk about, we're looking for things that have capped downside with unlimited upside. Right? So as long as you look at your fires and like, okay, there's a cap downside there. It can't go beyond this point. Like the house can only burn to the ground, right? Can't go any further than that. And you look at the asymmetric upside and you say, well, Jensen, if you can actually go and get this apartment complex built, like that would be far more lucrative than this $200,000 house that's going to burn down, right? That could be sold for $20 million. And if we have Jensen always focusing on saving the $200,000 problem, rather than focusing on how can we go and make another 20 million, then guess what? Like your guy's going to get burned out and you're going to have capped growth. And so that's number one, is put your best people on opportunities, not the problems. And you need to make space for this by asking, what are the problems and what are the opportunities? And just having that little framework, that little mindset has been very, very helpful for us in making sure that we're not just running our best people into walls all the time. Second is you need to make time and in your calendar to prioritize opportunities before operations. Opportunities before operations. This is a simple way for you to think about your day in terms of how do I schedule this for maximum effectiveness. I like to, you hear about like the maker versus manager schedule, where you wake up and the first thing in the morning, you should spend your first couple hours making stuff, and then your last couple hours on managing, right? Your admin, your calls, and your meetings, that type of stuff, right? And I like that framework. But the other way to think about this is spend your morning on the opportunities and your afternoon on the operations. And so one opportunity as an entrepreneur would be sales, right? Like go make a sale. It's like one of the best things that you can do for your business to help it grow. And so if you're not spending the first part of your morning doing something that is helping your company grow, focusing on sales, and you're putting it off until the afternoon because instead you spent the first part of your day just on emails and getting into meetings and directing your team rather than on the opportunities that could actually, move you forward, then you've put the cart before the horse. So reverse that. Spend the first part of your day on opportunities, the second part of your day on operations. It's a very subtle shift, but it's very powerful. So take those, run with them, start to see the world through this lens of opportunity cost. Always ask yourself, what is the cost of missed opportunity in this situation? What is the upside? What is the potential downside? If the downside's capped and the upside's unlimited, huzzah, that's what we're looking for. The reverse, not so much. So what that means is unlimited downside with only capped upside. No bueno, avoid that at all costs. And that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode.